Genghis Khan was the leader of the Mongol nomadic peoples. He created the largest territorially connected empire in human history. About 800 years later, the vast plateaus and deserts of Mongolia provide the perfect location for the off-road adventure, Mongolia.
It's a dream ride. You know, you can't explain it.
72 brave men and women from 21 countries have qualified for a unique off-road adventure, the International BMW Motorrad GS Trophy 2018. In 18 teams, they compete as they cross the vast steppes and high mountains of Mongolia in 8 days. A challenge for man and material. A route with over 2,300 kilometers is challenging for the participants. Dusty desert sand, steep uphills, and deep canyons await them. The temperatures can differ by up to 25 degrees Celsius from day to day. The GS Trophy is a competition, but not a race. The teams collect points in special tests that are about skill, orientation, team spirit, and motorcycle control. The adventure starts just outside the capital, Ulaanbaatar.
Welcome, Mongolia!
After a long journey to Mongolia, the participants arrive at the base camp. After everyone has arrived, it's time for a welcome by Matthias Horn, the project leader of the International GS Trophy 2018.
Welcome to the International GS Trophy 2018, Central Asia, Mongolia. I hope all of you had a good trip to Ulaanbaatar.
Among the 18 teams, there is also a team from Germany. Valentin Wallemüller, Martin Kern, and Michael Hansel won out against over 200 competitors in the German qualification last year. 18 teams, 72 participants from 21 countries. The perfect opportunity for a group photo. The motorcyclists come from all over the world. The participants have been eager for this adventure for over a year. Now, the waiting is over, and they can inspect their new motorcycles.
I declare the GS Trophy 2018 for open!
It looks like love at first sight. To ensure equal chances, all participants ride on the same enduro motorcycles with 125 horsepower peak output and a dry weight of 240 kilograms. The German team is happy about their ride for the next few days.
Really great, awesome motorcycle. It's like Christmas, Easter, birthday, all together. Really cool, and now the feeling is slowly coming. Now it's finally starting.
There are 2 women's teams. Team Eurafrica with riders from South Africa and France, and Team Aus America with riders from Australia and the USA.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited! I can't believe we're finally here! This is amazing!
With so many teams, it can quickly become chaotic. But 18 marshals are here to sort everything out. Miles Davis is the marshal for the German and South Korean teams today, and on the first riding day.
Today we've come down, they've just seen their bikes for the first time. I can help them make some adjustments, give them some suggestions, and basically make sure they're happy to take off tomorrow morning, day one, first gear go.
One important modification is located under the seat, the Enduro Pro plug. It ensures that the important riding settings remain saved.
You have to plug it in. It's a safety precaution to avoid any accidental switch into Enduro Pro mode, because that means the ABS is disabled.
Wale from Team Germany captures the hustle and bustle with his camera.
Look at my beauty.
I think the mood is unique when all the boys and girls get their bikes and you immediately notice the different cultures. One guy from Malaysia went down on his knees and prayed to his tires and gave his bike a name right away.
The ladies get to work on their bikes as well.
I'm adjusting the bike for the shorter body. So we're lowering the foot pegs a bit, so they're adjustable in height. And they've got rubber inserts, so that when you sit, it's more comfortable, and when you stand, they actually squeeze in. Yeah.
One unique feature are the radiator covers. They're 3D printed and have the name and number of each participant on them.
Not a huge amount, actually. Just brake and clutch position, I'd imagine, and maybe change the handlebars slightly as well. So, but those are all right for me. So just brake position, clutch position.
This is Tom Wolf, sports manager of the GS Trophy, who developed the track and special tests.
We ride, and that's typical here in Mongolia, over endless grass fields and plateaus, into the foothills of the Altai Mountains. Afterwards, through the Gobi Desert with really big dunes, and then a big loop back. Sensational nature. We ride 2,500 kilometers more or less off-road. The participants have to take care about their fitness. Also, the weather. You can have 0 degrees like now, and it'll be 30 degrees tomorrow. Then they have to do 2 special tests every day. It's not going to be easy.
After the bikes are set up, the teams introduce themselves.
Team India, take 2. Team India, take 3.
Guys, where are you?
Team India, take 4.
We have 1 billion people behind us, and we are Team India.
Jolly good cup of tea, chaps. Yes. Bloody good.
Le jour de gloire est arrivé.
Привет! Мы команда из России!
We go home! USA! USA!
Canada, number 1!
Woo!
The GS Trophy is not just a competition, it's also about meeting like-minded people and experiencing Mongolian culture. In the evening, the trophy riders get their first impression with a horse show and a concert featuring traditional music. The first day of the journey will take the trophy riders from Ulaanbaatar over 470 kilometers to Sagan Sufraga. Before they start, Tom discusses the last track details with the marshals.
Today's a very long day, 470 kilometers, half off-road, half on. Everybody's nervous, of course. All I can say is fingers crossed.
And here, the final puzzle piece of this year's GS Trophy is arriving. Matthias Horn, the project manager of the event, and Dr. Thomas Demhartner take a closer look. But why does the GS Trophy need a helicopter?
If we ever get an injured person, and I hope we never do, we can take the injured person to the hospital by helicopter as quickly as possible.
Dr. Thomas Demhartner inspects the aircraft.
Wir sind total begeistert.
We're really happy. We have a beautiful, almost new helicopter from a Russian mining company.
Einer russischen Minengesellschaft.
It's just landed. We're waiting for the medicine car to arrive down here to bring all the stuff, so we can load it.
Und then we're ready to go.
Plenty of medical supplies are loaded into the helicopter. It's a couple of minutes before 7 a.m. The teams get ready to go. For Matthias Horn as well, the start is getting closer.
We've been preparing for almost 2 years now. Luckily, the weather's gotten better, and soon it'll be time to start.
Россия!
I feel so good.
For the teams from Russia and Korea, there's a surprise. Fans from home.
We rode 2,200 kilometers from Russia to support our team.
Before the GS Trophy takes off, Matthias Horn and his colleague Damian Cagnard check to see whether all the riders are wearing the proper safety gear.
You got a back protector?
No.
Damian, zweiter back protector, 2000 protector noch. You cannot depart without back protector, okay? Okay. Ja, wir haben jetzt in mehreren...
We've said in several briefings on several occasions that they can only ride with the complete protective gear, and we found 2 guys who didn't have a back protector. They now have to get one, because otherwise their safety cannot be assured.
Finally, the International GS Trophy 2018 can get underway.
It's an absolute highlight on the first day, a very emotional moment for the teams, for the riders of the cars, and of course, for the organization team.
From the capital Ulaanbaatar, the route leads south for about 100 kilometers towards Sagan Sufraga. Thomas Demhartner also stowed his material for the first day of the journey. He's one of the doctors accompanying the GS Trophy.
I'm part of the trophy for the 4th time, and on the motorcycle for the 3rd time. At every trophy there are stretches of the track that are very, very difficult to reach by car.
Dr. Demhartner and his assistant carry about 30 kilograms of luggage on their motorcycles.
The medical care at the GS Trophy 2018 consists of a medical team, myself, 2 colleagues from Germany, and a Mongolian doctor. The Mongolian doctor will ride in the car, a German doctor will accompany the trophy in the car, and the 4th will fly in the helicopter. This way we can ensure medical care and keep the rescue chain working here in Ulaanbaatar, so we can treat minor injuries on the spot. There are only 2 hospitals on our route in Mongolia that are anywhere near Western standards. In other words, we have made sure in advance that any injury can be properly treated either in the country or, at the very latest, in Hong Kong.
After about an hour, the participants finally turn off the road into the open terrain. To get better traction in the soft sand, they lower the air pressure in their tires. About 200 kilometers after the start, the participants ride through the village Sant and attract curious glances. Mongolia has a surface area 4.5 times that of Germany, but with only 4 million inhabitants, it is one of the least populated regions of the world. Meanwhile, the teams head on to the first challenge of the day. In the GS Trophy, the teams don't race against each other on the track, but rather collect points in the special challenges for the overall ranking. The trial challenge is the first opportunity to do so. The 3 team members have to ride through a tight course in the terrain as faultlessly as possible. If a rider touches the ground with his foot or takes a fall, he incurs a penalty. But for now, Martin from Team Germany is relaxed.
We take it easy on the first day. It's like the first 4 kilometers of a marathon, so not too heavy on the acceleration.
Michael is the first German to start the challenge and performs without any big mistakes. Now it's Waller's turn. Oops, the track went to the right and Vala got lost. Martin also makes a mistake.
And not so bad, I think, for now, but I made some stupid mistakes. I'd say that was probably nothing. It wasn't going so well for me today, but we still have one more special stage.
1, 2, 3, Attacke!
The Orga team arrives at the challenge. Right next to it is the lunch point.
Wir sind jetzt hier extra mal hingefahren, auch mit den Orga.
We came here to check if the catering's working.
Catering hier funktioniert.
But it's looking good. The fridge is here, the tent is set up.
Back to the challenge. Everyone is curious to see how the women's teams perform. Team Awesome America is having a hard time with the sandy conditions.
The tarmac was a piece of cake. The sand wasn't so bad, but really, frankly, I just think sand belongs at the beach. So I haven't seen any water, so I don't really know.
Such a big adventure needs a lot of organization. Julia Kana is responsible for the logistics of the GS Trophy and has a lot of work in the camps that are set up at different locations every day.
A huge part of logistics is to transport all the motorcycles here. That's actually the most important. When the bikes arrive, the parking lot fills and you finally see the whole picture, like you imagined it previously at your desk at some point. And then you see the drone shots from above and you realize, hey, all the stuff that we brought over really has its purpose, and it's looking really cool.
For the participants, the ride goes on to the next challenge. Now they've reached the Gobi Desert. Just before the day's destination at Camp Sagan Sufraga, the impressive cliffs and walls made of mud are waiting for the riders. Here, the second challenge of the day takes place: Magic Cliffs.
We're going to have a bit of a navigation exercise with the guys. It's a bit of a surprise because they're going to get off the bikes and they're going to run a bit in this very nice desert that we have here.
Two marshals set up the challenge before the arrival of the participants. They mark 5 navigation points that must be found. At each point, there's a message left on a piece of paper. The teams that complete a sentence using the messages get a time credit. Each team has a maximum of 20 minutes to find all points.
Foxtrot Hotel. This is not easy. Navigation is a very important exercise and you need to know the equipment that you use. So this exercise just makes sense that you would start from one point to the next point to the next point to navigate. And it's good to learn it and good to know it. It will help you definitely in the future and especially with the trophy in Mongolia to navigate.
After 9 hours of riding, the teams arrive at the cliffs. Even without riding for so long, the test would require a lot of brain power and muscle strength. Dressed in nearly complete riding gear, they start running in the 30°C heat.
44,
3, 6, 4.
91.
The South African team has no difficulty finding the navigation points. Some participants go beyond their limits, so much so that Dr. Axel Tiener is needed.
That was awesome.
But after a short break, everyone is well again. The German team is satisfied too.
Ja, wir haben es geschafft!
While the challenge is on, Matthias Horn and his team have already arrived at the camp and inspect the yurts.
Das ist eigentlich das schlechteste Anführungsstrich Camp, das wir haben.
This is actually the worst camp we have here. That's why we had to build additional hygiene solutions. Showers and toilets in the yurt. And now, let's see what happens next.
Vorgeführt wird.
You're not serious, right? Hey, how cool is that? I can see Paris. Hey, they've made a hole in the ground. But look at this toilet. You have to admit it's pretty cool. I'll get the folding spade. Yes, I think you better.
Shortly afterwards, the other riders arrive at the camp.
In the morning, we had 5 degrees Celsius. Now it's 26. Typical Mongolia. Never-ending wind, but riding was like a dream.
It's really quite extreme, I think, in Mongolia. Like, the weather changes so quick. The landscape's really extreme as well. Like, it's so empty and really dry, and yeah, that alone is pretty challenging.
After arrival, the teams have to set up their tents because from today on, it's camping time. Team Germany makes sure it's camping in a feel-good atmosphere.
I'm looking forward to sleeping in there tonight. I've also brought a small lamp, if you want to take a look inside. It's a bit crumpled, but the light's still working. That's cool.
And what is Vale's impression of Mongolia?
This unbelievable expanse. One moment it's flat like in Holland, and suddenly the mountains start. We're at a pretty high altitude. You can tell that from your heart. And it's ultra impressive. I've never seen anything like that before.
In the evening, everyone looks forward to the results of the day. Team USA is the first leader of this year's GS Trophy, ahead of Argentina and South Korea. On day 2, the route will take us 230 kilometers from Sagan Sufarga to the Gobi Oasis, Dalan Sagad. The first night in the tents is over. Before the start, the teams will find out what to expect today.
Day 2 is much shorter, 230 kilometers, relatively short. 2 special stages, as always, rocky, sandy. It's going to be very hot. A tough day.
Here, the riders apply sun protection before the start. Then, the GS Trophy rolls again into the vastness of the Gobi Desert. Today, the route leads southwest, where the next camp is located in the oasis, Dalan Sagad. Meanwhile, in the camp, Maximilian Vestarp is in charge of the technology for the GS Trophy and solves a problem for the social media team.
Oh, no, it's going in.
And just how does the internet become available out here in the desert?
Last year, I was already here on Areke, and we noticed that there were camps without cell phone reception. So we had to resort to another solution here. We decided on 2 automatically deploying satellite dishes, which also align automatically. That way you usually get up to 4 megabits of upload and download. There are around 150 of us here. That's quite a challenge. We've completed the first 2 days now. So far, everyone is happy, and it works well.
All participants are on the road now. This also means that for Max and his team, it's time to load up. The power generator is part of the equipment, and it's not only important to have it in the camps.
We have it for several reasons. It's partly the case that gas stations have their own generators, but they don't always work. And the motorcycles don't need power, but the gas station does, in order to pump the gas. And if the power goes down, we still have something with us that can generate the power that we need.
Now, the engineering crew is leaving to set up at the next camp. Today, the teams can also earn points at the photo challenge. Each team submits a photo in the evening. Here, creativity knows no bounds. On the social media platforms, the fans get to vote for the pictures of the day. The team with the most likes wins the challenge. At noon, the first test of the day takes place at a location called Camel's Head, as there are often camels standing on the rocks. A skill course must be mastered on time. After a difficult riding section, the participants have to walk through the next part on the right side of their bikes before finishing the test by riding.
You have rocks and sand, and the most difficult is the changing of a grip.
The German team copes well with the first part. But in the middle section, Vale tips over his bike. Frustration is spreading.
You have to imagine the air is very dry. It's super hot. You dehydrate when you have to manually push this 220 kilo heavy bike around and you walk on the right side. Unusual. Normally you push your moped on the left side. Then the bike crashed onto my legs. That took all my power. And when the trial started, the second sector, I realized that I had zero saliva left in my mouth.
The team from India also struggles during its first GS Trophy participation. This Indian drills a deep track in the narrow path, and Tom Wolf is angry.
And we have to change the track now. About India is destroying the world. Yeah! No, it's not funny.
In part 2, conditions get rougher and rougher, and the first injuries occur. Mongolia shows itself from its most spectacular side, but there are also some very extreme conditions.